Hello, hello. Hopefully this records well because evidently my battery on my camera does not want to record for more than like 30 minutes before it dies. And I've got my camera plugged in now, so hopefully this is recording. But oh man, there's a tremendous amount of frustration, not only with this painting right now, but with life in general. And I won't go into the specifics of it, but I think what I'm going to talk about right now is a universal thing that all artists and pretty much anybody deals with on a day-to-day or weekly basis. So I started this painting. Today is Tuesday, May 20th, 2025. And I started this painting on the 15th. So Thursday, and then Friday we had this event that we went to, and that took all day Friday. I got some sketching done in a restaurant. We were driving all day. So that was my Friday. As far as art's concerned, like that was it. And then Saturday was a crazy day for me as well because oh man, I can't remember what was going on Saturday. Anyway, had a lot going on Saturday and I ended up only sketching at home. I didn't work on this painting, so did 30 minutes of sketching on Saturday. And then Sunday, I worked on this painting and I recorded it, but I didn't do any audio to it because I didn't have a lot of time. And that was it for Sunday. So it was about 40 minutes on the painting. And then yesterday I had life drawing all day plus a busy morning and then busy after that. And so all my art time was, I did a painting at the life drawing session. And I'm finally back to this painting today. And it was still wet. Even though I started it on Thursday, a lot of the paint was still very wet. And so I began by softening all the edges, and then I scraped it down, scraped it down with the palette knife, pulled off, pretty much most of the paint, and then went over it again with the brush to smooth out everything. And then you can pretty much, in places, you can see the drawing through the bottom. And I like the way that looked because the purpose of this painting is I'm really trying to focus on pushing myself on edges in a lot of ways, to do Olga Boznanska. Here, I'm zooming into one of her hands here, Boznanska, B-O-Z-N-A-N-S-K-A. I want this painting to look like she painted her hands, right? Like the hands are painted, which there's this simplicity and sensitivity that I keep talking about that I'm trying to get in my paintings. It looks like they're just kind of thrown together with a lot of thick paint, and I'm trying to do that and nothing seems to work. And I'm just getting so frustrated with it, just so frustrated. Not only that, but the addition of life getting in the way of my art that I'd like to do every day. Luckily, I have a daily minimum and a habit of that built up so that I always get something done. There's always progress, so that's good. I want to look on the bright side of things on that. But there's a lot of frustration here. And I want, it's easy for me to, I wouldn't say easy, but I could do a painting where, I'm zoomed all the way in like this. By the way, I took this image that I'm using on my iPad into Procreate. Now it's in Procreate right now. But I could do super detailed. I could sit here with a smaller brush and focus on all the ins and outs and the curves and the planes and the everything and get this painting detailed so it looks exactly like the photo. I've done that hundreds of times and I can do that. I know I can do that. And it's something I'm comfortable with. And I can fix, all the drawing issues and everything as I go, and it would be a pretty good painting, It would be the image reproduced on oil for the most part. But I don't want to do that. I want to stretch myself. I want to expand. I have a comfort zone that I want to be outside of into my growth area and learn more and push myself to do more. And with that comes getting uncomfortable. So one of the things I did is I took my painting or this picture into Procreate so I could zoom all the way out and I could just focus on like bigger areas rather than getting into the details. And that's the great thing about digital is I can zoom way out like that and make it so hard to see so that all I get is an impression of an upper lip, an impression of teeth, an impression of lips, and just, try and reproduce just that impression here, right? In a very simple way. So that's why I zoomed way out. That's why it's in Procreate right now. Does it look good? Is it a good painting? No, it's terrible. I hate it. It's, and this is part of the game. Not only the frustration that you feel when you're outside of your comfort zone, or you're painting for the first time, or you're doing oil for the first time, or your drawings suck because you haven't drawn in forever. I've been there all the time. Or you're trying a new medium, or you're trying a new method, or you're in a class and the teacher asks you to do, or a mentorship, and they ask you to do something you've never done before, and it's difficult to do. It's really hard in the moment to remember that the uncomfortable that you're feeling right now is a reverse indicator of growth. It's an indication that, hey, you are doing something that's difficult. And if you can get past that uncomfortable and just keep going, if you can keep doing that, you'll get to another stage. And yes, there's going to be some failed paintings along the way. There's going to be some paintings that you hate, some paintings that you ended up throwing away, or that you paint over. That's part of it. And the reason why I'm saying this to you is because I need a reminder myself. I'm reminding myself right now that this is good. It's good that I'm uncomfortable. It's good that I'm frustrated. It's good that I want to rip this painting off of my drawing board, rip it into a bunch of small pieces, and then burn it somewhere. Jeez, Chris. So violent. Just so frustrated. So frustrated. A lot of times when I'm in this frustration mode, it's because I don't have a clear understanding. And I can feel that right now. I can totally feel it. I don't have a clear understanding of what I'm going for. That it's the same feeling that I would get if I'm starting out brand new with like a material that a medium I've never used before, like watercolor. Oh, I've never done watercolor. I've pretty much stayed away from it my whole life. Maybe that's a challenge I'll undertake at some point. Maybe. But this not feeling the way I should, just really uncomfortable, not having a clear understanding of, direction. Like a boat out to sea without a rudder. Like, what, how do I do this? How do I make this look like Olga Bolznanska's hands? Right? And I look at what she has done, I don't know how long ago, the painting she did. And I think I don't know how to achieve that. If I had the same exact hands crossed over like this, and maybe that's what I should do, bring it in. Oof, that's a great idea. That is a great idea. Rather than doing like a subject that's completely different, if I wanted to achieve something like she has, maybe I should start with similar subject matter, get a little bit closer to it. It's kind of like what I've talked about. Well, maybe I haven't talked about this before, maybe in one of my older videos. But, there's this progression that we can go through where, let's say you want to paint like Picasso in a very gestural style, and get in I don't know much about Picasso, right? Maybe I'll pick somebody out that I do know, right? Let's say you want to paint like John Singer Sargent or Sorolla, right? Where it's all about these beautiful brush strokes, just beautiful brush work. One stroke describing this whole area perfectly. And that kind of approach. I mean, it's absolutely fantastic what they do. Have no idea how I would do that, but probably, since I'm thinking about it right now, would I do a subject matter that's completely different than what they have done? Like, oh, I'm going to paint a car, just like John Singer Sargent painted a portrait. Maybe not, because you're going to have different concerns for that car rather than a head. And there you go. So Chris, you're having so much frustration because you're changing subject matter tremendously. Maybe I could bring it even closer. So maybe I can use my hands or someone else's hands. I could probably ask someone to pose, and I could light the hands. Let's say I pick this painting that I'm looking at by Olga's, and I say, I'm going to light the hands exactly the way, in this like cool light, just like she has as well, and in the same position. So I'm going to work from my own photo maybe, and then I'm going to try and reproduce what she has. That would get, so now I'm working on subject matter that is so close to what she, as close as I can get to what she has, that maybe all of this textural concern, all of this amazingness, this beauty, this I don't know what, maybe I'm a bit closer and I can get there. Yeah. So I discovered maybe a better way for me to get closer and less frustrated on this painting. Thanks for listening to me so I could talk it out. I don't know how this is helpful to you though. Maybe, there's a common humanity that I feel that happens when we talk these things out. And another reason why I think a lot of the videos that I create can be helpful for anyone is because you're probably not dealing with the same situations that I'm dealing with. But when I talk about being so busy that I can only get 30 minutes of art in a day for several days straight, and then when I do sit down to paint, I have a very frustrating time of it. That, I think, something that you can relate to, especially the time concern, where we all have like time, mood, energy, busyness, work and kids and cats and all kinds of stuff. And it gets in the way of things that we would like to do. There's all those things that we need to do. Oh, I gotta make money, so I have to go to work, a job that maybe I don't like. And then hopefully I get home with enough energy to do a painting. And hopefully when I do that painting, I'm not so frustrated that I want to throw it in the trash bin, right? I think that common humanity we can deal with. And we can relate to, we all can relate to. Hopefully you can relate to that, and that's helpful. So maybe if you see that I'm frustrated and I'm doing these things and I'm frustrated with it, you can have a sigh of relief afterwards, in your mode or where you're at right now, and just go, you know what? This is normal. This is part of it. This is part of life. It isn't like the world hates me and me alone, that only I have these problems. No, it's part of the game. I'm 100% sure that the best artist on the planet right now, whoever that is, or the most prolific artist on the planet right now, whoever that is, has a lot of the same problems that I do. And I love that common humanity. I love the idea of bringing individuals like that kind of down to earth and having that sigh of relief and thinking, you know what, it's fine. At least I got some art in, I got some painting time in, I got frustrated with it, but some good things will come out of it. And you know, this painting may not see the light of day. Well, what does that mean? All these idioms that we use. There's a good chance that I'll abandon this painting and I won't work further on it. That's a very good chance. And it's probably even better chance that I take some photos of hands. I wonder if I can get some older friends of mine to pose to their hands so I can paint their hands. That would be kind of nice. I like the idea that this is definitely, these hands are from an older individual, not a younger individual. I love the hands of older people, all of the interest, all the veins and the thinness of the skin that happens when you get older, where you can kind of see through it. It brings a lot of life into it. But anyway, that's me for today. It's not the best of days, but you know what? It's not the worst of days either. So thank you for listening to me rant. Hopefully you got something out of this. If not, you know what? I got a lot more videos coming out, so I will see you on the next video. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.